Welcome to another episode of the Red Half of Sheffield Preview Pod. This week, I preview another defeat, this time at the hands of Liverpool. Joining us once again from the LFC Groove, it is Jay. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night to you. Jay, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much for having me once.
Well, I guess we'll get into it. I asked you in pre-recording, are Liverpool going to do it in Jurgen Klopp's swan song season? Are they going to do it?
I don't know. Is like I said, is the honest answer. Um, I'd love to be full of confidence and say, yeah, we're going to go ahead and do it, but there's that many twists and turns still to come. I think it's massive that City and Arsenal play each other today. Um, so I think that's not going to be a deciding factor, but it's going to be just it makes everything so much more interesting straight away. But yeah, it's a tough one at the minute. I don't really know how to answer that question. I'd love to say yeah, but you never know, especially with Liverpool, you never know.
Yeah, I know it seems like it's gonna go right down to the wire. So as far as the Reds season, I guess go ahead and sum it up to this culminating point where we have what, 8, 9 games left now at this point. You know, what more could you ask for? Could this season be any better?
Um, it could be better. If you'd have asked me at the start of the season if we'd have been in this position now, I would have said no. I think we're overachieving for what we done last season. Last season was a massive disappointment, but we sell practically our home midfield in the summer, bring 4 new midfielders in, and then to be joint top with 9 games left to go, whatever it is for me on the basis of last season is an overachievement this season.
Yeah. That's and you know, I wonder if with Klopp going in the summer, do you think is Liverpool going to go into a much bigger rebuild in the next coming years, or did Klopp take more of that on him in the last few years to whoever the next manager is going to be at Liverpool? Did he take on some of that onus to bring in some of these players to where if it goes into a little bit of a rebuild, it's not you guys being like a Chelsea or how bad Man United are right now. It's just like you might drop a few pegs and then in a couple years go right after for another title.
Yeah, I think Klopp has done a lot of the work that would have been needed this summer otherwise. But I just think it's whoever we get in is going to be a complete change in dynamic. That it's going to be a rebuild, regardless of how we do finish this season.
Mhm.
Even if we go on and win the league and the Europa League, next season is still a rebuild because you got a new manager coming in with new ways, new style of play, um, everything like that. So yeah, Klopp doing what he's done last summer has helped the new manager massively. But it's still a massive build at the same time, I think.
Yeah. Um, as far as managers for next season, I know you probably wanted Javi Alonso. It looks like he's staying at Leverkusen allegedly, pipping Bayern Munich. I don't know why the hell he wouldn't want to go there. Or come to Liverpool. It's I mean, I don't know. Who do you personally want as the Liverpool manager? And if you don't have an answer, have you even given it any thought?
I have given it thought. I think initially, me immediate thought did go to Xabi Alonso. You look at the job he's doing at Leverkusen now, 13 points clear with 7 games to go is just phenomenal. And Leverkusen never won the Bundesliga on the cusp of making history in his first senior managerial role is remarkable. So he would have been my first choice, but him staying at Leverkusen, I can absolutely respect that decision. Um, and now it's a case of I don't really know. I don't know enough about the managers that are being linked outside of the Premier League. Obviously, you've got Ruben Amorim at Sporting Lisbon. Don't know enough about him to have a genuine opinion about him. The names he linked with in the Premier League, Roberto De Zerbi, not not too keen on him. If I'm being completely honest, I think he overachieved last season. In fairness, and I think we're seeing Brighton's level a bit more this season. I think they are sort of a on the cusp of Europe team. I think they are just about there. So I think they're doing what they should this season. But yeah, it's a tough one. I think names get thrown about. Every name gets thrown about. Jose Mourinho's name's been thrown in the mix by people. There's people saying go and get Ange from Tottenham. There's people saying Unai Emery. Um, it's a difficult one. I think we've just got to trust Michael Edwards to make and Richard Hughes to make the right decision, and we've just got to. Most importantly, we've just got to back the manager. People say Pep Lijnders, Klopp's assistant, to take over. I think that wouldn't be the right move at the minute. I think because he's been there with Klopp, I think there'd be an extra amount of pressure on him if he was to become the manager to succeed, because everyone would be thinking it's the same system, it's the same team essentially because it's him. I think there'd be unnecessary extra pressure on him if to come in.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. It certainly will be a story that is going to develop over the coming months, and hopefully the appointment. I'm glad you didn't say Steven Gerrard, because God, he would fuck that team up so bad.
Yeah, I think
Oh man,
if he never went to Villa and stayed at Rangers, he'd probably still be in the mix.
yeah.
But Villa and now I think going to Saudi has just killed his chances completely.
Oh yeah, yeah. He'll never get a top tier job, in my opinion, because once you go to Saudi, you just kill your career. Look at Jordan Henderson.
Yeah,
Um, realized it wasn't all a bundle of fun going to Saudi Arabia, but the money's good, but kind of miserable over there.
yeah.
All right, as I'll turn it back because the people are probably yelling at me. This isn't a Liverpool podcast. This is a Sheffield United podcast. Quit talking up the opponent. So I will get into Thursday, which is an odd day to play a
Mm.
Premier League fixture. Um, Thursday night's kickoff. Your thoughts on how it's going to go and how many it's going to be?
You know what? I don't think it's going to be as straightforward as many people believe it's going to be. I think you're fighting for your lives down there. Um, I think yesterday would have would have really hurt to not go 4-1 up when I don't understand that decision to disallow it.
Yeah,
Um,
no.
but to not go 4-1 up and then to end up not winning the game would have been a kick in the teeth. But I don't know. I think Chris Wilder his teams are hard to play against, even if the results aren't going the way. And you know, I think the positive you can take from yesterday is I don't know, was that the first time you've scored 3 goals this season, or one of very
Yeah,
few times this
yeah,
season?
yeah,
Um, so it's gonna be tough. It's never the places you never want to, teams you never want to play at this stage of the season are the ones right down at the bottom. Um,
yeah,
because at this stage you've just got to throw everything at it, and what better way to make a statement than getting a result at Liverpool?
yeah. No chance, no chance. If I had to put a score line, I don't think it's going to be a hammering necessarily. I think it's more of a Liverpool comfortable 3-0 win. We'd be lucky. I'll put some money on, over 2 shots on target for Sheffield United. I mean, you look at yesterday's game being 3-3. Yeah, we should have been 4-1 up, and I still don't know how they rule that off sides. I don't know. But I mean, they still, albeit the scoreline said 3-3, Fulham still dominated that game yesterday, and I think we only had like 5 shots on target, something like that. So against against Liverpool, we're we won't have a sniff. I mean, if Allison's back there and goal, is he injured or is he going to start? Because I don't know what game it was. I think your backup keeper was in.
Hmm.
I think a couple of weeks ago. Um, but whoever's playing goalkeeper is probably just going to get their sun chair out and just lay down and get a nice tan and not have to worry about much. A few goal kicks, that'll probably be about it, I would imagine. Um, but yeah, I think both of us have resounding Liverpool wins. Before we get out of here, Jay, drop the podcast information where people can give you a listen.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're on anywhere you get your podcast. So just search the Liverpool Groove on Spotify. Having a bit of an issue with Apple at the minute, so probably best avoiding that. But Google Podcasts, we're all good on there. You can find us on YouTube at the Liverpool Groove, and if you want to follow us on social media, at LFC Groove is the Twitter or X, and at Liverpool Groove is Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, cool deal. You can follow me as always on Twitter X at cjarvis_13. Follow the podcast because if you're watching this video, I don't know how the hell and why you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, Red Half Sheffield's podcast on Twitter is at Red Sheffield. And until I am back here to inevitably preview another loss, I will leave you with this: up the blade.